set yourself up for a successful nail trimming. This is Betty the Doodle Groomer Chick, and I thought to make a video about guidelines, general ideas, tips and tricks, how you can keep yourself comfortable and your doggy comfortable for nail care. It's such a popular topic and everybody is so afraid. I hear statements on many forums and in person from my clients that I'm petrified of nail trimming, or my dog has black nails and it scares me. And there are so many myths out there, like black nails are harder to trim than clear ones, that I had the urge, like, I have to do this video. So here it is. I'm taking a peek at my notes here. So the success of nail trimming, in my opinion, has two major parts. One is your knowledge about nail care, and the other is your doggy's experience and behavior about nail care and with nail care. Let's talk about your knowledge first. In case you are aware of these nail care myths, that's awesome. In case you are still just hearing about black nails are still harder to trim than white nails, then I urge you to stick around because that's a guarantee to hurt doggy nails. Nail types, that's your solution, at least part of it. Knowing the two nail types, taco and hot dog nail types, is critical. You really want to know that the hot dog nail type is the one where the horny tissue encircles the softer tissue in the middle. And the taco nail type is when the horny tissue grows way longer than the softer tissue is in the nail. So as if you may say, this is a little bit easier because you need to search for a line here when you turn the doggy's feet upside down like that. Mr. Clifford is going to help us. This is the safe way to trim doggy nails. You turn the feet upside down, you see the nails from the poppet side. In case your doggy prefers, they can be on their backs or sides. You definitely want to get a view from the poppet side. That's the way to see those nail layers. And with the hot dog nail type, you're gonna see and you're gonna search for a dot in the middle. Special thing, you're gonna hear about this in a second. So after you learn about nail types, you are way closer to the solution because you can check your doggy's nails, turn the feet upside down and see whether the horny tissue grew longer and there is a line, or it's a hot dog nail type which needs a different type of attention. Layers of the nail, critical. What nail layers are there and how can you find them without getting accessing knowledge to the middle section of the nail? How do we do that? We turn the feet upside down and see for ourselves. Now let's take a look at the nail types. Meanwhile, my doggy is scratching here. Ducky, move. And getting closer to the camera. So here are the nail layers I want you to know about. The horny tissue, the most outer layer, hard, shiny. You can check it by making some noise on it with your fingers. That's definitely a horny tissue. The other layer has two sublayers, and it's called the sole. It's a soft layer, kind of like matte color. So if you take a look, let me come a little bit closer. The white is shiny, and the inner section is more like a powdery thingy. The next layer from the horny tissue, you're gonna see powdery layer. And it's called the powdery sole. And below that, there is the jello sole. The powdery sole, as the name says, it's powdery. If you scratch it with your finger, it's gonna come apart like flour. The jello sole, however, looks like jello. If you press it first, if you take a look at it, you're gonna see it's kind of shiny and bright, but soft. And that's your stop sign. And whenever you scratch it with your fingers or push a little bit on it, super gentle, super gentle, then you're gonna feel it's like jello. It's soft and it goes inwards. And that's your stop sign. You really want to stop where the jello layer starts because that's the beginning, and it's not your stop sign is not the tip of the quick. By the time you're there, it's already late and it's gonna bleed at least a little, and we don't want that. So you need to stop at the jello sole layer, the shiny, soft little dot in the middle in case of a hot dog nail type, and then you're gonna stay safe and you can file up the nail and you're gonna be good to go. And oh, 2 more layers. We talked about the quick, and there's gonna be a bony part of the nail as well, which keeps the structure and the nail in a sturdy shape. Awesome. You need to know the stop sign. We talked about the stop sign there in case of a hot dog nail type. You need to see the little layers from this view, and you need to go as deep as the jello sole layer, so you're gonna notice a different dot in the middle there. In case of a hot dog nail type, you need to trim only up to the you can go up to there as well, depending on how thick this layer is, but you're gonna search for a line. And in case of a hot dog nail type, this pink thing can come up even up until here. This pink layer can come up until the real edge of the nail, or almost to the edge of the nail, which means you don't have to go any deeper than that. Just trim where the line is. There is a line when it comes to the hot dog nail type. There's a line in there which you need to keep an eye out for, and then you can make the trim on the top, on the sides, leave a little room between the soft tissue and the horny tissue, so you're definitely not gonna go too short in case you are a beginner, and then you can file and round up the rest of the horny surface. We are not filing up the soft tissue at all. We are making sure that the horny tissue is covering and keeping it safe, and keeping the doggy from scratches with the filing. Awesome. Equipment. I see it all the time that people have no clue what kind of equipment they should use, let alone what size. Both matters, and there is much more to it than use this one or use a smaller one. So I have a list on my website, on my blog, that which ones I prefer for small, medium, and large doggies, and then you can take a look. And I also have a preferred nail file link in there, so you know which one is my favorite, and then you can learn a little bit more about it, why I use that and why I don't use the quick finders and the guillotine type of nail clippers, or why I use human nail clippers in some super specific cases. This method is only for people who are extremely knowledgeable about nail care and face a situation, a nail situation, when there is no room to guide the nail clipper, an average nail clipper, in between the skin and the shape of the nail. So this is the most advanced thing, so I definitely not recommend this to beginners. And even for beginners, whenever you get the nail clipper in your hands, you already need to have knowledge about how to use it. Basic stuff I'm gonna talk about in this video, so you're gonna be aware what you are doing, because in case you are just wishing to do nail trims and you just buy a nail clipper at a store and then you get to it, then you're not setting up yourself for success at all. And I put it very badly. So let's not endanger our dogs and ourselves, and learn and get an idea what we get into in case we are trying to trim doggy nails and trying to get them shorter. Holding technique of the dog's feet, the dog's nail, and the equipment itself. All of this boils down to the doggy's comfort. Because in case you are holding the dog in a comfortable way, the feet and the nail in a comfortable way for your dog and for yourself, so you're going to be able to see what you are doing while you are doing the nail trim, then your doggy will be way more likely to cooperate. Because in case they sense the pressure whenever you are doing the nail clipping, if in case you are doing the nail clipping this way, then they're going to feel the sensation, the squeezing. And then they're going to be like, woo! And then you're going to be like, ah! And then the nail trim ends. So it's not fun that way. You need to learn about how to position the dog, how to get a good access to the nails, and how to keep the nails safe from trimming too long. Now, quick hint, I like to put my finger before the area I want to keep safe. For beginners, it's right by the tip of the nail and you go teeny tiny by teeny tiny. And then I do the nail clipping. And that way you can totally prevent the cutting of the whole nail all at once, which happens sometimes in horror stories on YouTube videos and anecdotes in real life from groomers. I remember one time I started at a grooming shop, and the lady who was teaching me to do the baiting stuff and just to get around in the shop, she was like telling me, like, the first time she was trying to trim a nail, she was working on a puppy and the puppy was wiggling around and her method was not safe enough, so she literally cut the whole nail off. And I was like, wow. So you really need to know what you're doing and how you are doing it, and have a plan upfront before you try, hopefully before you try, and then you're gonna be able to do magic and your doggy will love for it, and it's gonna be a sweaty and joyful experience for both of you. Nail trimming method. It does matter how you are trimming the nail, how you position the nail clipper, because the squeezing sensation results in a different sensation whenever you're holding the clipper this way and whenever you're holding the clipper this way. It absolutely has a huge impact on your doggy's cooperation and behavior, whether you hold the nail clipper in which way. Nail filing. I always do nail filing. In case there is a nail trimming, there is always a nail filing following up. Why? Because a doggy gets really sharp edges, even if you try to clip in an angle, so it's gonna be more like rounded rather than one sharp slice. But the doggy will walk around, scratch itself, jump on the kids, jump on you. They can scratch their cornea with sharp nails. They can scratch your kid's face, your kid's cornea, your skin, your cornea. It's just a huge opportunity for a disaster. Comfort, medication, and bill-wise, not fun. So when it comes to nail filing, when it comes to nail trimming, I do nail filing as well. And paw care. So many people ask me that, oh, I need to trim my doggy's nails. Awesome. Well, when it comes to paw care, nail trimming is the third step. Believe or not, at least in my experience and in my practice. I trim paw hair and I search for mats. Paw hair, I mean the hair underneath the pads, so the doggy will be able to get a good grip, not just for the nail care, but also at home whenever chasing kitty cats or their buddies or the kids or you are fetching for a ball or whatnot. So they're gonna be comfortable. I trim out the second step is the mats between the pads, that little boomerang shade spot. If you open up the pads, you're gonna be able to see hair in there in most of the cases, especially for doodles. And you need to trim the hair out because it gets matted, it collects mud, saliva, food, dirt in there, and your doggy will be miserable because they're gonna have a huge chunk of misery in there, which I call paw pad boomerangs. And let me file for a good sample for you. I call these paw pad boomerangs because they are boomerang shaped little thingies, and you definitely want to prevent these from happening. Best way to do it is keeping the paw hair nice and short. The other part of the second step is trimming out toe mohawks, which are matted hair between the pads. And let me just get, where is my cutest sample from the, anyways, here is a smaller one. You're gonna get the idea that there is matted hair, there can be matted hair between the toes, which are hiding. Toes, matted hair, and all you see when you're brushing your doggy's hair is this fluffy little thing, and that's it. Now, whenever you're brushing, your doggy might already react to that because the pins of the brush get stuck in the mat deeper in there, and then your doggy will react like, And that's the situation when you need to, and in general, I highly recommend to check it like daily or weekly. Take a look between the toes, and then in case there's any mat, trim it out. Both the paw pad boomerang and also the toe mohawks. My kitty cat is in heat and she is screaming, so excuse us. And in case there are mats there, trim out the toe mohawks and paw pad boomerangs as well as the second step, because it feels like having a rock in your shoe. And as you can imagine, even a tiny rock can cause a lot of discomfort. But having this size or this ginormous size of puppet boomerang I showed you is definitely not on the comfortable side at all. That was your end of the nail clipper, doggy's end of the nail clipper. What makes it success? In case you know all of this, you familiarize yourself, got the knowledge, practice yourself alone using cashew nuts. Where are my cute little samples? Using cashew nuts, anyways, you know how a cashew nut looks. And they are amazing for practicing the angling and stuff. Once you know all of this, even better, get on a course, my Nail It course, and learn about all of this. And next step is how you can get your doggy to cooperate. Because even if you all know all of this, it's not like, hey Fluffy, we're gonna do a nail trim today, so they are gonna hop on the table and you can do it. They need to feel comfortable so they will cooperate. Now how can we keep our dogs comfortable? What their comfort depends on. One of the major parts I find is previous experience with being handled and with nail care and with paw care. For example, is your doggy trained to be okay with touching the feet? Did they have painful, uncomfortable, traumatic nail care experience in the past? In case their nail was bleeding, sure as heck I would call it traumatic, because I wouldn't be like, okay, here's my hand, you can poke it as long as you want, it bleeds a little, it's okay, I'm gonna come back next time. No way. Even if it hurts a little, I'm like, it's not gonna happen. I would bite like a sewing machine in case someone would hurt my hands or feet and they would try to do the same thing. I understand that they need to do something around that, or I might even not, but I'm sure as heck I wouldn't let them do anything on my feet with that previous experience. So they need to be desensitized. And how can you do that? Training, and even one step earlier, stop the painful and traumatic experiences. Learn about it, take your dog to another groomer or to the vet tech and someone who actually knows. Better yet, stay while they do it, because it's such a crazy thing, a fact, that nail trimming is taught in a ridiculously simple and very, very injury-prone way for pet care providers like veterinarians, vet techs, groomers, even groomers. They have no clue what they are doing, and they are using the quick stop powder, the thing what you put on to stop the bleeding, as if it were like chocolate or whatnot. It's definitely not comfortable. They need to learn how to do it. And believe it or not, even professionals are in the dark about nail care, and they have no clue about the nail types. And they just trim, bleeds a little, let's put a little quick stop powder there, and then next nail. And accidents happen. And I freak out because I really, really want my clients to cooperate, and then when they experience something like that, they're gonna freak out. And whenever I see new clients, they are like, oh my god, no nail trims. And then, doggies, and then I know that something was up with them in the past. So it takes a while until we get to that stage, like they're gonna be super happy about it, because it can happen. So before I would go any further, I need to take a look at my notes, because nails are my favorite topic, so I can go on and on and on and on about them. Environment. It does matter, actually. There is a huge impact of the environment you are trying to do the nail trim. Let it be the couch, a table, or on the ground. You need to know that it needs to be distraction sterile. Like no kids running around, no other doggies running around, no husband and wife running around or just asking you something. Especially if you're a beginner, you want to make it as cool as possible. I like having a table close to a window so my doggy clients can take a look outside while I trim the nails and file them. And I also do the same thing, distraction, food or whatnot, gentle, mild distractions. And also it depends on the doggy, because some doggies get so wild for seeing a squirrel that they want to jump through the window. So it's not for everyone. Find your doggy's love language and make sure that you are using those languages, let it be food or toys or butt loves or comfort or a good exercise before, that's suggested anyways. And that way you're gonna be able to keep your doggy comfortable. And once you have the knowledge, they're gonna sense that you're calm as a cucumber and not anxious, because whenever they sense that you're anxious, they're gonna pick up the energy and you're not gonna go anywhere with the nail trim care at all. You need to meet needs for your dog before, also for yourself. So in case the doggy needs to poop, has pent up energy, they gonna, sure as heck, will wiggle. And to keep them safe and yourself safe, you need to have them a pee break, a fun run before the grooming, so they're gonna be tired and they're gonna be happy and satisfied because their life is not just sitting by the couch or on the couch, but they get stuff done. And you can play fetch with them or train them to do shake or handstand, whatever you like. But they need the attention and they develop and thrive whenever those needs are satisfied. So make sure you're not trying to do a nail trim on a doggy who is full of energy and who is really into playing with you, because in those cases, they're gonna think about this as a game. You need to play up front, have the doggy exercise and comfortable and satisfied, and then they're gonna be like piece of cake. And it's gonna be so much fun for you too. So that was my quick tip as a guideline, how to set yourself up for successful nail trimming and what aspects are out there to keep yourself knowledgeable about the topic and your doggy comfortable, so you're gonna be able to perform what you learned. And if you have any questions about it, please let me know in the comments and I will be happy to answer them. Belly rubs to your doggy and see you in the next video.